Our members are the spokespeople wherever possible. We mobilise, that's one other aspect of it. We usually have one or two big strikes a year or a day of action a year. We also try and build alliances with our employers because many of them are on site or should be on site, and so we spend a lot of time working with them really to minimise opposition, but also to build the strength of our side. We build alliances with clients because obviously our workers work with homeless people, people with drug and alcohol problems, also people with mental illness and people with disabilities. Out of those groups, some are transient and you can't so much build alliances other than when you have maybe one particular action that you bring along people to. But some of them are in these services for most of their life, especially with people with disabilities. And so we do a lot of work working with people with disabilities, which is the name of the peak group there, and other client groups, and also directly with clients. Like our workers will bring their clients or their service users along to actions because they're the people that will also benefit out of our campaign. We aiming to get to a point where our ability to be able to respond quickly is very good. So, for example, we've got to the point now, if we ask our members, where we did 2 weeks ago, to email Barry O'Farrell, and it's an urgent thing to do, we now always get 1,200. Between 900 and 1,200 people do that, and we know because of the technology will tell us when people have done it, to do a simple thing like an email within 48 hours. And for a union our size, where we've got 6,000 members in the community sector, and probably not all of them, 3/4 of them with email addresses at work, that's actually a really high percentage of people actually doing something within a short period of time when you ask them to do something. Also, when we do our lobbying, it's not me that goes and does it most of the time, it's our members in electorates. So in the last federal election, we had members go and visit their local candidates, so all 3 local candidates, Liberal and National, Labor and Greens, in 25 electorates. That's a lot of people going and doing that, directly going and talking to those politicians. And when we have days of action now, we get nearly half of our membership come to it. So, to be able to do that is quite is hard, but like a good achievement if you know that our goal is to build ourselves into a really powerful fighting force. But we can all get up and say how fantastic we are as unions. We never say all of the things that we're not good at, and I don't know how many times I've sat and I've listened to union leaders tell everyone how great their campaigns are. So what I want to say about ours is there's nothing special about it. There's nothing special about it at all. There's actually nothing new about it. All of those tactics that we're using aren't some amazing new thing that we've found. The newest thing we do is send out SMSs. And that's just because it's new technology, that's all. And when we really, in the end, when you lose sight of the necessity to struggle for what you're trying to achieve, and you lose sight of what you believe in, and then lose sight that you need to fight for it, that's, in my view, where things go wrong. I think that goes wrong for the Labor Party just as much as it can for unions as well, and where we start losing our way. You can see that in lots of ways in the current debate about the Labor Party and about what we're going to do to rebuild it. So much I hear people talking about the actual tactics that we should employ, like, for example, the whole issue about focus groups, or we should be doing more door knocking, or we should be doing more calling people, or we should be doing more, all of these things. Well, of course we should be doing those things, but if you don't have the basic foundation right, which is being absolutely clear about what you believe in, and you can articulate that very clearly and passionately to the public, the rest of it, doesn't matter. The Tea Party can organise. The organising part of it is ideologically free in a way. They're just tactics where you don't have, in the beginning, that total understanding and vision and commitment for what you stand for and why. That's where, in my view, we've lost our way, Labor Party, but also where unions equally can as well. The other thing I want to say is that when that happens, we can so much fall for silver bullets and fads. And so many times you see, something new from the US, from the UK, or wherever, and we'll listen to that and say, that's what we've got to do. This is a silver bullet. This is how we're going to change the Labor Party or grow our unions or turn it around from where it is now. And really, in a way, this is a very convenient way of avoiding the hard work that needs to be done in organising, just the hard work that our grandparents did and our parents did and our great-grandparents did. Fighting power in this country or any country is not easy, and it involves a lot of just basic on-the-ground organising, going and talking to people about what their issues are, and then educating people around it, then mobilising people around it. And you look how we are not doing that around the carbon tax. It's such an obvious failure of us as progressives. Here we have an issue of climate change, and what is our ability to go and organise around that? Like, what have we been doing? We sit back and we hope for, Julia Gillard or other people to come out and to fix it all in what they say, when really, in my view, what we should be doing is going out to our members and to our communities and saying, well, yes, climate change, we're going to die if we don't do something about it. That's the issue. Carbon's the cause of pollution. Putting a tax on it means this, and going out and explaining that and organising, that's what we should be doing around that particular issue in order to build power, in order to change things, rather than doing focus groups that are just going to tell us what people already ignorantly think. It's mad to me that we do that. The other thing I wanted to say is, when we talk about community organising or the community, sometimes in Australia, really weirdly, we think that community is something other than ourselves. And I see this mythology happening now around the Your Rights at Work campaign, and unionists will say, I remember how we organised the community, and we did all of this work in the community, and we got all these other people involved. Do you know what? That's not true. Empirically, and there's people speaking in another room that back this up with all their own research, and our own research says this. Those Your Rights at Work groups, who were they? They were trade unionists. They were union members. All of them, nearly all of them were union members. The only people that weren't union members were, guess who? Retired union members. It was us. We're the community. And there's heaps of research that also says those people who are leaders in their community, so by that I mean not our members, but our members are trade unionists and workers as well, so part of the broader labour movement. But those people who are, say, the leaders of their sports club, their churches, their other organisations they have, tend to be the highest percentage of them are union members and they're union delegates. I don't find that surprising at all. I mean, union delegates, as we know, are the best people in society, so it's hardly surprising that they're also active in their own community and they're also that people. So this whole idea, oh look, there's these other people out there that we've got to go and get involved in and we've got to go and get them on side. We need to be starting with us because we are the community. We're the strongest. The union movement is the strongest social movement in this country by far. And for us to forget that and to think, well, we've got to go and find something else is a distraction and a really bad mistake. So I suppose the message that I want to say really is that, old-style organising is really what's got to happen, and there's nothing that I can say about our campaign that's really new. There's not. And all the other successful campaigns that unions are running, they've been run by other workers in other countries and here in Australia forever. And that wherever we get distracted onto silver bullets or to fads and other things, we are wasting time and we're wasting our energy. And what we should be doing is focusing on looking at our own history and focusing on the hard work that needs to be done in terms of just basic organising. Thanks.